Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another week of ATN podcasting. We took a week off because hangovers are a hell of a thing, and we are coming at you this week with some random nonsense that I'm just going to make up on the spot. Now, before we get into the actual podcast, I have to put this out there. We took our resident Asian Devin to an anime meetup. We walked through a crowd and lost him. If you see a random family who just acquired a new son, it's probably him. If you could please return him to the ATN Discord, we would really appreciate it. Now,
he's our new
down
son.
to business. We really don't have a lot in the way of topics this week because we suck at our jobs. So I'm just going to make stuff up, throw some questions out there, and we'll see where this takes us. Question the first. What do you guys think about Nintendo canceling the Nintendo Classic Edition despite huge demand remaining for it and instead opting to move on to the Super Nintendo Classic Edition?
Thank God. Gosh dang it.
Really?
Yeah, because, personally, for me, my generation, the oldest console I remember playing was a Super Nintendo. So, Nintendo, yeah, sure, it'd be cool for a lot of older people. But, for me personally, I think it's cool to see that the Super Nintendo is going to be, coming back. Because, that was the first console I ever remember really playing. So, I didn't really play the Atari or anything. I'm, 23 years old. So, I'm happy that I got to experience the Super Nintendo the way I did. But it's, weird how kids nowadays are just now being born. It's I remember the Xbox One, that was my oldest console. It's cool to see that I was able to still be in that generation of Super Nintendo, So, that's just my personal preference. I don't know. What about you guys?
I definitely feel the same way. I'll admit I wasn't the biggest fan of the NES and, NES stuff, but, Super Nintendo's where I started, too. So I'm actually way more excited about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. I think Nintendo meant for the NES Classic to be a limited thing, something special. And they want to keep it special by not producing anymore. But, and I guess just keep going with things.
Yeah, well, so, I know the reason why they did, the reason why it ended up that way was because for some reason, Nintendo was like, you know what? People aren't going to be excited about the NES. So, we're just going to make a limited amount. And it just they had, ton of people that wanted to get it, and they were just scalpers that bought all of them. So people were pretty up in arms about that, got upset. But honestly, I actually have both of the consoles still. I have the NES with the Mario / Duck Hunt. So I still have that console. I still have the Super Nintendo. So I have both of them. So I actually wish that they did come out with the more of the NES besides the Super Nintendo. But the only issue I had with it was I know that the Super Nintendo that they're coming out with was that they were actually cutting some of the games. It wasn't going to come with as much games as the NES version did, and the price is higher too. So the only thing I saw that would actually compensate for that is they're coming out with that, wasn't it Star Fox 2?
Star Fox 2.
Yeah, so they're going to be coming out with that. So I feel like that's going to be something that kind of compensates for the lack of, not really a lack of games. There's still 20 games or more, but versus I think there was around 30 or more for the NES. So, yeah, but considering how small the console is as well, something that's definitely very portable, it's something that they're bringing back. They're not gonna be able to bring back a console unless if it was just a lot of downloaded games and it was this bigger console that they put more money into. It's just something
$80
that's more
is a lot of money,
Yeah, but it's something that's better than those Atari systems that you see at Walmart. That come with 10 games on there, whether it's there's something else where it might be Pac-Man, a couple of other games like Dig Dug. But, you see this, I feel like this is something that's going to be really nice to actually bring back to people who were fans, and they have a little taste of that from today.
Hey, I wanted to play Pong in 3D 4K, right? I want the ball to bounce off of me. Yeah, that did not sound right.
Oh,
yeah,
that did not. That did not. Holy crap.
You need to cool it with the balls.
We didn't have to say the joke this time.
My God. 5 minutes into the podcast and Nathan's already wanting balls on him.
We didn't have to bring it up.
God.
All right, so let me ask you guys this then. Do you think in any way, and I'm going to put on a little bit of a tinfoil hat here for this, do you think in any way Nintendo was like, let's keep this limited edition because most of these games are going to be on the virtual console anyways, and we'll make more money from people having to buy them individually?
I don't know. Let me think.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I mean, they are still a business. They like
Yeah.
making video games, but they're still a business.
Yep.
Well,
And that's where my question came from.
Yeah, I think there's two ways to look at it, which is, I mean, that's one of them is that they are a business, so obviously they're trying to make a profit as well. But two, I think Nintendo has just made a lot of dumb decisions recently with, one is the consoles that they come out with, like a lot of them, not that they've been discontinued, but I feel like they come out with a console and they're like, yeah, this is a great idea, the Wii U, and then it just basically completely dies, and they're like, well, that was dumb. All right, let's make something that was a little better than that one. So I feel like that they just, the way that they, I don't know, they come out with these different devices or just consoles.
Personally, I think it would be cool if they came up with a thing where you got to do the Super, SNES, but you got to customize it. So you got to put what games you wanted to come with it. I think that would be really cool if they customize each one. I mean, I know, it'd be a lot of work, but it would just
of money.
Yeah.
And a lot of money, but it would just be cool to be able to do that. Like maybe if you paid a little extra money, you could choose the games that came with it.
Well, I feel like
I think that would be kind of neat.
I feel like what they would probably do is kind of like the what's the Nintendo store called again? Is that what it's called?
eShop.
The eShop?
Shop.
Okay, yeah. I feel like what they would probably do is on the eShop for maybe the Switch or something, is they would maybe have like a section like how they do on PlayStation with the PS Now, how they have PS2 games, PS3 on there. I feel like that they would probably do something like that instead for the Switch, where you could just go on there and they just buy a ton of older games. Didn't they do that for the Wii U or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
so,
the 3DS.
yeah. So I would say
Virtual
that's.
console.
I mean, I would say that's the thing that they would probably do instead, to elaborate on a console, kind of like the, what is it again? The Super Nintendo Classic or whatever? What's it
Yeah.
called? Yeah. That one. I feel like that's to be able to broaden that, because that device only has like 20 games. I feel like to be able to broaden on that would be just to bring that to the e-store.
I think I don't know what I think now. I had a brain fart. Hold on. I just had it and I was like, wait a minute. This is what was I gonna say? Well, shoot. All right, come back to me. Someone else go. 1 sec.
We all answered, we all answered already. We
I
all
was literally
answered.
gonna say something and then I'm like,
It's okay. We know you have balls.
You and your one-track balls mind. Just no room for rational thought in there right now.
Balls with special sauce. God.
I don't even know what I was gonna say
It's
now.
just not okay. It's gone. Moment is gone. All right. Anyways, moving on. So, Summer Games Done Quick is going on now. Has been going on all week, actually. I think Summer Games Done Quick is awesome. So is the Winter
agreed.
Games Done Quick as well. One of my favorite type of marathons that goes on. Awesome charity thing. They always have great charities that they're working for. Did any of you guys get to catch any of GDQ?
I usually don't. I just kind of catch it on YouTube while I'm eating food or whatever. But I do like GDQ and stuff.
I like I go back and rewatch the rear ones. I think they're pretty cool.
The VODs?
Yeah. I go on YouTube
Can I
and
ask
watch
you
them
a
like you
question?
said.
Who or what is GDQ?
Summer Games Done Quick. It's a speed running marathon.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's a speed running marathon where
Oh,
they
you never
take
watched that?
I haven't.
it's 24 hours a day for a full week, just nonstop speed running, and they take donations typically for a charity. Like I think they're doing Doctors Without Borders right now.
This
I
is
think they
hosted
might have
on
done that
Twitch?
last summer GDQ also.
I think they do
But
every-
they're I checked earlier, they were up over $1 million raised already. So
Yeah, it's crazy how much money they get out
Oh,
of
this
it.
is on Twitch.
yeah, they're crushing it. Yeah. Twitch is definitely the easiest place to watch it. I'm sure there are other places that you can watch it from.
You get to watch
Like, I know that
professional
eventually it goes
athletes.
to YouTube, but
You get to watch professional athletes.
future
bro.
Olympians speedrunning me right now.
Yes.
It's going down right after I get my freaking weed helmet and
Weed-
Call of Duty World War II. That was a rough episode.
I like I like watching the Ocarina of Time. I think it's cool to see how
That
because
one's
I got to see
interesting.
my girl Navi. You know, sorry, she's good.
Mm,
Love me some Navi. You know,
Love me some Navi.
I
Fairy
I
lover.
just think it's cool to see like I just think it's neat that they're turning games. You know, they're not just playing them just to play them. I think it's cool that they're just it's also raising money for charity. So it's cool to see something good come out of it. You know,
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you agree, Navi? Of course, she
Of
would.
course. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
No, I think GDQ is great. It's one of my favorite video game related stream things. I kind of wish that there was more, in a sense. You know, like I wish there was more things like it. GDQ only comes, I think, twice a year, once in the summer, once in the winter, and they raise usually well over $1 million every time that they do it. But
Oh wow.
I'd like to see more. I think it would be awesome to see more things be supported, you know, by these marathon, like with these marathons and stuff, and maybe one every season. You know, let's come up with something else. Maybe we come up with a more competitive style one for the spring and fall, and you know, work it off of that. That'd be really cool to see.
Neckbeards like myself are like, we matter now. We're doing
We
something
matter
good.
now. I grew my neck beard out just
they-
for this.
Just for this event.
I mean, they kind of had a competitive one. What was it? I think it was 2015 with Mario Maker, where they had a bunch of where the competitors wouldn't know what levels were made,
Yes,
and
they did
the
that
objective
again
was
this
to get
year.
the first. Oh, they did.
Mm-hmm.
Love Mario
Yeah,
Maker.
where they every time you die or finish a level, you switch off with another member of your team, and they
Yeah.
basically play musical chairs or whatever throughout the race. Yeah,
Hmm.
they actually have a number of speed run races, you know, that they run to do that and stuff. But I guess what I meant by
Yeah.
more about like competitive games, you know, is get the Call of Duty shooters in there, you know, with the
Mhm.
pros doing charity matches, you know, get the league pros in there doing charity matches, things like that, you know, just make it almost like a tournament style event and you know, but make it for charity.
Yeah.
That'd
You
be
know, I
cool.
mean, not only would it be a good way for a lot of these pros and whatnot to get their names out there, you know, but and you know, get some more publicity, but I mean, it would be for a good cause, so they could feel good
Yeah.
doing it. I think it'd be really cool, and it would get, you know, it would start maybe get some of the people who don't really, you know, enjoy speed running or for whatever reason, and maybe they could get into that.
Yeah. I mean, there's all these different things people can see and they could get interested in,
Hmm.
other than just being stuck watching their own channels that they like to watch on Twitch.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
Agreed.
So moving on from there, Doomfist was just announced for Overwatch. Does anybody here still play Overwatch? I
Good
didn't
talk.
think so. So, anyways, Doomfist is a character in Overwatch that was, you know, started being teased before Overwatch even released. He was talked about and shown a little bit in the trailer back in 2014, and there's been a lot of things leading up to his release. And now that it's here, I gotta say, I still don't give a fuck.
I was watching him. I was watching some of his gameplay on Facebook. I was on some videos or on YouTube also, and he looks cool. I mean, I know everybody was wanting Terry Crews to voice him,
Yeah,
but that didn't happen.
what the shit,
I
man?
mean,
Why can't Blizzard just be
You
fun?
had one job, Blizzard.
Yeah,
it was.
Terry Crews,
I bet he's voiced by a white guy.
probably.
No,
Well,
probably
he's
not, but still.
Western Nigerian, so
Western
person.
Nigerian.
So we can't have Terry Crews doing that because he's a calm, insightful dude, and Terry Crews is more
Are you
high
saying-
Terry
energy,
Crews.
power.
Are you saying that Terry Crews does not have the acting capability to create the voice for this character when necessary?
He would, but I feel like it'd be wasted.
I'm gonna start up a Twitter account. I'm gonna tweet Terry Crews and let him know that he needs to break you in half. You just called him a bad actor. Maybe we should stream that. Take donations for charity. It'll be sweet.
No, it wouldn't. I'd
Watch
be dead.
smaller black man get broken in half by Terry Crews. Live on Twitch.
Live on Twitch.
We're gonna make sure that he uses a Western Nigerian accent while he breaks you in half too, just to really sell it.
That'd be disrespectful.
Yeah, I only played Overwatch I played a little bit of the beta, and I never really got into it, so I can't really say much of Overwatch, being a big League player myself, so I never really got into other games, you know, but he looks cool. I mean, He looks like another Overwatch champion.
So
I
Terry
don't
Crews
know.
doesn't play him?
No, everybody was
no.
disappointed.
If he
Really
did,
disappointed.
do you think he would be like how he is in the Old Spice commercials?
That's what everybody was expecting.
I know.
Yeah.
just screaming the whole time. Yes. Gosh dang it.
Oh man,
That's
no,
all
I
I
mean
could think of.
Overwatch is still incredibly popular. I got people that enjoy Overwatch by any means. I played a bunch of it when it first came out, and just for some reason, I just couldn't get into it like I thought I was going to.
Yeah,
It was-
same.
I tried and tried, and I just after
It
a
reminds
while,
me
I
of
was
like
like, I think I'm over it.
reminds me of like a first-person MOBA. Those kind of
Yeah,
games.
it
I think
looks.
that's what they were going for.
Yeah,
in a
it
way.
looks fun. I mean, I played the Walmart version, which is Paladins, the Walmart knockoff
The
version.
Walmart
But I'm like,
version.
I mean, even then,
The
I feel like
Walmart
even
version.
yeah, like even then, I feel like I don't need to play Overwatch. The reason why is because they just hardcore ripped it off, just terribly. It's like exactly mirrored characters. Like every character they've come out with on Overwatch is completely just mirrored and reskinned on Paladins. So I'm like, I feel like I've gotten the whole gist of how the game feels, and like it's fun and it can be competitive, but I'm just like, it's never drawn me in too much where I'm like, I want to play this, like how I felt about Battlegrounds or other games. I haven't had that same interest where I can just sit down every day and then play it.
Yeah, I agree. It's like same with me for like League of Legends. I'm just like, nah. It just never really got into it. I don't know, just not my type of style of game, I guess.
Yeah.
But there's other people that like it. I mean, it's cool. I think it's a really neat designed game, and I think it looks like cool. I like the graphic setting. It's a little cartoony, but at the same time a little real. So
Mhm.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yep.
Is there another question or was that it?
Sure. This one is a little bit more aimed at you, but I've seen a lot of, at least in the community for it, I've seen a lot of hype about this game. What do you think of that newly announced Dragon Ball Z fighting game?
I think it's gonna be sick.
I don't know a whole lot about it, but I hear that there's a lot of controversy over what characters have been confirmed versus which ones are yet to be confirmed. You got anything to weigh in on that?
Well, I actually haven't been looking at it right now because it's still pretty early. I mean, and characters, it's not really gonna matter, honestly.
All right, what's the one
Like-
character you have to buy this game?
I'd say Cell, but he's already
Ooh.
been confirmed, so I don't care.
Yeah, there you go. Can confirm. Can play
Is
Goku. Can play.
I
Cell.
wasn't
There you
sure.
go,
I mean,
Dragon
because I
Ball.
know you said super early. Wasn't there something about like VR, or no?
They're gonna do VR for it? I had no
I
idea.
can't
actually.
imagine why they
I'm
would,
not-
because
I'm
it's
not
meant to
sure.
be competitive.
Sounds like
I don't know.
a
It'd
terrible
be
idea.
interesting though.
If,
I want
I
3D
don't think it
VR
would work.
porn.
Flying
as well
would be
do-
super crazy.
Might as well do VR Frogger. That'd be cool.
Yes.
That would be
It's gonna
sick. You just walk in or whatever, and your dude's got the headset on, hopping around the living room. You're like, Frogger, I know.
Frogger, I knew it.
Yes, that won't cause injuries. I'd be so tempted every time that I saw him hop in front of a car, I'd be so tempted to shoulder tackle him. Just hammer him to the ground or whatever. Like, damn, watch out for that car.
Frogger VR.
Yeah.
Be
Does not
interesting.
include helmet.
Did you ever see that? Actually, there was a video I saw on Facebook a while back. Did you ever see? What was it? I think it was Snapchat too. It was the video where it was like Mario VR. Did you ever see that?
Oh,
Yes,
like
I
that
did.
Yeah.
That guy playing in the park.
Yeah. It was like augmented reality. Like
Yeah.
it looked pretty fun though.
Yeah. Look cool.
Yeah. You don't
So
sound
what do you
very
guys?
excited
I'm
about
sure
it.
everyone's heard about this already. What are your thoughts on this Ark Survival Evolved jumping up its $60 to a $60 price tag while still in early access, still having a plethora of undelivered promises, and having already had the nerve to charge for DLC while in early access?
I think it's
What do
a
you guys
big
think
middle
about this?
finger to the fans.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, they're definitely They're gonna get pooped on harder than Rockstar did when they tried taking away that modding thing. They definitely screwed
Yep.
themselves over.
You know who else I think deserves a lot of backlash in this regard too that I haven't seen a lot of people bring up? I really think Steam and Valve need to get off their ass and really start policing some of this shit that they're allowing to happen in the early access program.
They should.
I know that they have changes that they recently announced coming to early access, but I really think that there needs to be a lot stricter rules on the bullshit that they're letting these developers get away with.
Well, I've noticed a lot of
paid DLC in early access.
I've noticed a lot of early access games have been getting crap, and like a lot of people view it a different way. Where before it was like, oh, this is a way where it's kind of like, you know, alpha and beta, but you're able to help out, like, what is it, directly with the developers. You know, to be able to actually play the game and give your input instead of just playing it and they're like, oh, here's our statistics and we're going to play. You know, they actually get to interact, you know, through comments and whatnot, and people playing, figuring out bugs. But I think it's you know, it's ridiculous. Like they definitely need to keep an eye on that.
They also need to go back to school and learn to count to 3. That'd be nice too. Because I'm still learning my 1, 2, 4s, but you know, they need to learn. They need to learn to count 3. Well, it'd be cool to finally see a Left 4 Dead 3 or something.
Is way too much though for something like that.
Yeah,
$6 is a lot.
Yeah,
for an unfinished mess of a game. Yeah.
It was barely worth 30.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I paid 30 for it way back when, and it's the only game that I know that got progressively worse every patch. It was just awful.
I don't know what's worse, Ark being $60 or the Modern Warfare remaster coming out for 40 again. So, trying to figure this one out.
Definitely Ark.
Definitely Ark, because I mean, Ark is, at least if you spend the $40 on the Modern Warfare, you know you're getting a complete game.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
You're spending $40.
Or you're getting a game from a trusted company who's been doing the same thing for years. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, it's just with Ark right now, if you spend $60 on Ark, you basically just paid $60 for a very rough, no lube rectal exam.
Exactly.
You're like, you know what I want? I want somebody to just get elbow deep in me right now and rip my wallet out.
Rip my wallet out.
Yeah.
Gosh,
I mean,
oh god.
I know some people are willing to pay for that kind of stuff, but
don't threaten me with a good time.
It was I think it was 15 on the summer sale too, and I was like, I don't even think that's worth it. Like maybe $5. I'm like, I don't trust the game.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if they're ever gonna recover from this.
No.
Like their as a developer might be shot.
I know Bohemia did the same thing with DayZ. It was like, I think it was $25, and they bumped up to, I think, $35 or something a while back. And like all they had added to the game over the span of like 2 years was they were like, now you can make campfires and camp out in the forest with glitching zombies who follow you for like 2 miles.
And walk through walls.
Yeah, walk through walls too. Yeah, I doubt that they even actually fixed that. So yeah, I was like, oh boy. They were like, oh, we've updated the price tag to help with development. I was like, you've added a campfire, which all it is just adding rocks and sticks. Like, I was like, you added nothing. And then they were like,
the rods and sticks in a circle.
Like the whole game was broken, and they were like, now you can go fishing. And I was like, oh, what the heck? What is this, like the hunting simulator?
It's 2 different development teams, guys. You gotta be nice.
They're trying to have us take a hint.
I can see the next
Dean Bear Grylls game.
I can see Dean Hall just sitting at his desk when from time to time he goes on Steam, checks out the game, and he's like, "Why? How did this happen? how did this come to this?"
Poor Dean Hall.
Just keep happening.
I know. I see it.
Yeah, DayZ though. That game is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people just need to look at PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I mean, what they're doing is, like they said, they're trying to look into getting out early access by October. They've only been for, what, so far 3 months or something?
Can they make it so you don't have to have a $3,000
early
PC to run
access?
it? That'd be nice.
Because they were looking into getting out early access by October, I think they said. So I was saying a lot of companies should definitely look at that, because I've seen a lot of other games like Unturned, some other ones. I mean, at least that one actually works. But a lot of games I've seen, they've been, for like the Forest, for instance. A lot of those games have been in early access for like 2 to 3 years, sometimes even 4. And I feel like that they kind of utilize that to, I don't know. I feel like they're just utilizing early access in the wrong way, where instead of just getting feedback, getting the game where it needs to be for stabilization and whatnot, and then just getting it out there. So I feel like Battlegrounds something, a lot of people should definitely look at that and follow in their footsteps. I mean, they've been doing a lot of good things.
Yeah, they have. Well, I think they were kind of forced to do good things too. They've seen all these other crappy early access games, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we got to step it up, or we're gonna end up just like them." So
Yeah, for sure.
Which is still admirable. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely,
rather than hitting the successful mark that they did and being like, "Oh, we made it, guys."
Oh,
congratulations.
I mean,
We'll see you in 4 years.
I mean,
Yeah,
and
true.
for a game that is open world, survival, early access, just those 3 tags right there. I mean, that's not any different compared to what you can see from any other game. I mean, besides it being battle royale, but just that right there, I mean, is pretty. It's pretty insane to see that they're actually the top game with over 11 million.
I'm just super
sales.
shocked that there hasn't been like a Hunger Games video game over these years. Of all the movies coming out, like they're kind of like been the big first one.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Calling came out, but it was cool, but nobody was really hyped for it, and it kind of bombed. And I don't think anybody plays the Calling now. And then now Battlegrounds came out and it's exploded, and everybody loves it.
Yeah.
So and it has that Hunger Games feel to it. I mean, I'm just surprised no other game has kind of mimicked it beforehand. I'm surprised there hasn't been a Hunger Games video game.
Well, I know the Culling is a lot closer to Hunger Games than Battlegrounds actually is. I mean, they're both battle royale, but with Battlegrounds you have it's a lot more of an adrenaline rush because especially since you got the circle, but considering that there's also 99 people in the server.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that is kind of surprising.
Agreed. Well, we got any more questions?
nah, man, I think that about wraps it up. We've been going at it for a while. I don't
Yeah.
don't want to have an overly long episode like the other week there, where somebody rambled on about Call of Duty for an hour.
Who was that? I don't know.
Wait, what?
Yeah, some
When did
weird
that happen?
Some weird asshole's brother. I don't really.
Yeah.
I don't really know what's going on there.
I don't know
But,
what's going on there.
But yeah, I mean, that'll about do it for us for this week. We talked about a lot of crap that just kind of came up on the spot. And if you see our Asian, please remind him.
Video games are a sport.
No, video games are not a fucking sport. Swear to God.
They demand as much respect as actual athletes that train for years.
I've been training these moves for years, so you better
Dude,
watch
PewDiePie
it.
is a god, right?
Did you just make a reference to man boobs?
Yes.
Surprised he didn't reference balls.
All right, we're done.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Have you checked the children?
Oh boy.
Stop it.
Oh no. Forgot.